are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports War. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Pour here on a Thursday, the Barnes and Tony Endeavor, the first day of the 2024-2025 NFL season. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, dude. Can't believe it is the first day of our new NFL season here. Obviously, you have to go over the divisions, the game tonight, as well as other sports to get to. So busy morning for us, Brian, needless to say.
Needless to say, this wouldn't be a Matthew Ryan call-in type of morning. You know what I mean?
No, we have no time.
Gotta go.
There is no time, Matthew.
And I think what will help move things along as well is like regarding, the one, the only New York Yankees. There's not much to say, other than obviously, you embarrassed yourself and you have the worst bullpen I've ever seen, So, I mean, what else are you really going to say to that? It doesn't need this long, drawn-out recap. That's it. So there's not going to be much on that. And the Mets, just kudos to them. Back-to-back sweeps, 7 in a row. And that's really all we need to cover on that. It's just football, right there. I mean, why would we even talk about the Mets?
I mean, obviously not. Mets like old news. Come on, dude. A wild card doesn't really matter. Whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Tight race, no excitement.
No, not at all, dude. I'm
just kidding. Obviously, I get why you would be excited, and other Mets fans like it, Kev, would be excited, but hard not to.
I know. For you, it is tough, dude. Especially when you do see the Mets bullpen right now is pitching really well.
I forgot what that felt like.
Diaz seems to be doing really well. I don't know if you saw it last night, back-to-back, 101-mile-an-hour fastballs, dude.
Wow.
I don't know. It's so odd. I don't know if it was just maybe his lack of confidence because of his injury. Didn't want to get behind the ball. But, out of nowhere, we haven't seen that at all this year. He hasn't hit 101. So
hopefully we see that from, Luke Weaver or something.
Yes, dude. In Hamilton.
But before we get into football, which like I said, I'm so excited about it. And I feel like, too, we really didn't touch it that much in the offseason, the occasional story or two. For it to be really let's face it. For everybody else, maybe not ourselves. Maybe it's like kind of tied at this point. But the main attraction in town. Just excited for that. And before we get to that, though, let's get to the one, the only. We got a Kev Do. We got a Josh B. What do we got?
We do have Kev Do right there early and often. Number one comment, first one here this morning. Let's go. He says we want the smoke. Let's effing go Mets. Hi, Brian. Put some respect on the effing Mets name, dude.
And like I said, like I told Mr. Do here at the Beach Bash, your time will come, brother. So I'm glad you're enjoying the winning streak here. A lot of baseball left. I would just say I hope the Mets save a couple wins down the stretch.
Yeah, dude. Speaking of saving a few wins here, Josh B says Yankees suck again. Bunch of face palm emojis. Hashtag TCA. Hashtag sportsboard. Hashtag DTV. And then he says, "Oh, hi guys."
What do you think that was about? Hi guys.
I don't know. Maybe because
he just meant to say hi in the first.
Maybe.
And he forgot.
Yeah, probably. Then Kev Deuce says, Tony, beautiful time to be a Mets fans. It certainly is right now. A lot of things going well. Half game back. Braves still won. Whatever.
No ground game,
but nothing lost.
On repeat from yesterday.
Literally. But it's totally fine, dude. You're winning these games. It's great. I think you have the Cardinals next, so there's some good to look forward to.
Tricky
still
matchup there.
Definitely tricky, but you've gotten through a few tricky matchups, I feel like in the past, even recently against Red Sox, having the McGill start, again, stuff like that. So I feel like you'll be back to top of your rotation. I think you'll feel pretty good about this one here, even though I saw Arenado made some crazy bare hand catch, fire to first.
It's had a rough season, maybe lightning in the bottle down the stretch over the Cards as they try to sneak in the playoffs. Seems like they'll take a miracle, but you never know.
You never know, dude. Also, Josh P says, we doing Sunday, Monday picks again. We never paid off our bets.
We could let it slide. The playoffs was double or nothing. We won't charge him, but we can set out the parameters for this season. And it's just, what? I get a good shot of it. I know I'm just having fun with you, Kev. Love you, buddy. Okay. But I do think after their success last year, that Kev thinks almost like it's like Madden, that he's just going to come in. They're going to, win by 20 picks. Like, not gonna happen this year.
Not up in here.
But we definitely will do that. We definitely will do that tomorrow with the frenzy. Obviously, though, we'll have the game tonight. We'll talk about, of course, the divisional previews. And then what else we got here?
Let's do Josh B. Hyped TCA versus the Sports Port, dude. And then Kev Do, of course, in here. Let's go. We have to pick this year. You guys to pay your debt, and that week playoffs won't does that, which is ridiculous, by the way.
Yeah, that is
the playoffs. That was written. It was said. It's on tape, dude.
Signed,
we can check it back, dude.
And delivered.
Thank you very much, Brian. Kev Do says, let's talk. Oh, okay. All right. Let's not poke the bear here too much.
Kev, listen. I mean, let me. I already kind of alluded to it, but yeah. I mean, the last few games here, unacceptable. So you're off today. You got to go to the Windy City over the weekend. So a lot to brush up. That's for sure. And I think, last night's, performance was nothing short of pathetic. But as a fan and as you know what this team is capable of, you expect to see a complete reversal here coming up. Otherwise, you're really not going to put yourself in a good position. So let's let the games be played. Speaking
of a complete reversal here, Matthew Ryan, football. Let's go Jets. He says he's pumped for our divisional previews. And then Josh B says, bro, it was an entire season. You all won a few games. We got to get something. He says, you want a little something, dude? Here's a little something. All right, there you go. Congrats, bud.
There we go. Yeah, parameters lined up.
Come on,
trying to collect that.
Yeah.
What are they, the IRS?
Come on. All right, it's enough for you. Matthew Ryan, Yankees pissing him off. And then Kev Do says sweep this weekend for sure. And Josh B wants to go back to the tape. All right, we'll find it. We'll find it, dude.
We'll find
Don't you worry. Don't you worry.
I think they might owe us Sakura maybe 3 rounds of golf, or was it 4? Something like that.
I think 4 sounds about right.
Yeah, because it was a double or nothing situation. And no Mets talk, which I agree with Matthew Ryan there. Who do we have here?
Retro Junk CT. I believe that is our boy Sam. Having the Dream is free. No. But he says Ravens winning 31-27.
Very interesting.
Nice little prediction there,
We will get to that for sure. But we know what time it is. Let's go to the world of the National Football League.
He wants Jefferson, climbs the ladder. Oh my goodness! Justin Jefferson, the catch of his life.
Burrow fires, intercepted, picked off at a pick 6. Minka Fitzpatrick, an absolute ball hawk.
Niners twist up front and get to Tagovailoa. Bosa again.
Mahomes escaping, on the move, stops, spins, flips it forward for the touchdown.
Stop it.
Aaron Jones. Oh, what a tackle. Quincy Williams with a pile driver.
Right, all right. So like we said in the open, the first day of the NFL season kicking off tonight in NBC and Peacock Endeavor, Tony. A playoff rematch from last season between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens here. And right now, and we'll talk about this game specifically, but I believe the Chiefs holding to a 3-point favorite, total 47.5. So that'll be a great rematch. And that was the AFC Championship game from last year, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah.
That was the Ravens didn't want to run game.
Yeah, Ravens didn't want to run. And it's crazy that here we are full circle. But as we know, before we know it, Tony, we will be saying week 18. So we got to enjoy it while it's here.
Yes, absolutely.
But let's just jump right into it. So let's just start in a place that we're in. I hope, do you have the trusty notepad out here?
Of course. Do we have the notepad?
Okay, great. So we're going to predict the order of finish here. And I said a place close to home with the AFC East. So obviously proximity wise, and of course, what we know about the Jets and really, being, you see them play their divisional opponents twice a year. So we're familiar with what, the Patriots have, which is obviously not much this year. I mean, of course, they're looking to work Drake May into the mix at some point, but we'll start with Jacoby Brissett. We know about the Dolphins having that hot start last year, but really tapering down the stretch and once again failing in the playoffs. But a very similar cast of characters back. We know a lot of changes were made in Buffalo. Obviously, the one that sticks out there would be Diggs no longer and
right.
Gabe Davis. So a completely rebuilt receiving core. I think that will hurt them, but there is a chance there. We know Diggs, being the prima donna that he seems to be, that might be good getting him out and then giving other guys an opportunity to step up and make a name for themselves. And one thing here from Matthew Ryan saying Jets winning with no Zach Wilson. So yes, no Zach Wilson.
Like winning the division?
Maybe just in general, having a winning record, something
That's
that
nice. That would be nice.
They haven't had in what are we on 15 years?
I think it's 15.
15 because 2010 AFC Championship game last time they qualified for the postseason. Will they snap that this year? I guess we'll find out. But obviously in this division, of course, like I just said, Bills, Dolphins, Patriots, Jets. I'll start with you, Tony. Your order of finish, and if you could give the records as well.
Of course, dude. So let's freaking go. Great division to start off with. Pretty hyped about it. And honestly, I think for the first time in a long time, Matthew Ryan and I will be agreeing on something. I have the Jets winning this division, dude.
Let's go.
Let's fucking go, dude. I say they win with an 11-6 record here. And I think what's going to be huge too, and I think, I'll go into a little bit more, but you kind of touched upon it, Dolphins, even Bills, a little bit tapering down the stretch. People forget how many interceptions Allen, I think, throws too sometimes. I think he was second in the league last year behind who was the quarterback for the Commanders? Bennett?
Oh, no, last year, Heineke?
Was it Heineke? Yeah, maybe.
Because it wasn't bad.
But I think he had like 20 interceptions. Allen had 18. So the guy turns the ball. How? Yes. Sam Howell. There we go. But the Jets, dude, week 17 and 18, they play Buffalo and Miami. So I think those are going to be two huge back-to-back wins for them to end the year, take the division, and have the Bills and Dolphins fall to both 10-7 for the first time in 4 seasons, I think, right? Bills are not going to win this division. I say they stay in at 10-7 in second place. Dolphins do have the same record, but do by default go to third place with a 10-7 record. I think Dolphins, Tua, whatever, they have the talent there, but I mean, it's, the big moments they choke down the stretch of the last season. They're not doing well. I don't want to hear about, the cold weather for them, can't handle it, whatever. But I do think that they fall third here with a 10-7, like I said. And Pats, I mean, I don't think there's much improvement there. Maybe they're in last year in the NFC East, 6-11 in that record, dude.
Wow. I think even 6 is generous.
Huh? Yeah, would you have last year? I think you said 2 wins or 4 wins.
2 wins, and what did they end up
Pretty
winning?
spot on. I think they had 4 last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I'll start from the top as well. And while I do think it will be successful in terms of a return trip to the playoffs, I actually do not have the New York Jets winning this division. I'm gonna go with the Dolphins. And it doesn't mean that it's going to translate to anything down the stretch into the postseason. But I just think as a regular season team, I think we really will see that team that, no one could stop, especially first half of the season last year, running the ball a ton. And obviously Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle streaking down the field. Obviously the whole thing there, Tua staying healthy, but we're going to assume that he does, as well as his top 2 targets. Correct. And then one thing that I think we will see some regression on, and that will be, counteracted by if Devon A-Chain stays healthy. But Mostert had a ridiculous year, 20-something touchdowns. That was a fantasy guy that I did not want to touch. I think his season is going to be a complete reversal, almost similar to Jamal Williams last year with the Saints after having that big year with the Lions. Anyway, I'm going to say the Dolphins will go 12-5. So that'll be first place in the East. And then right behind them, I'm going to go with the Jets and actually a little shy maybe of what people are saying here, but I'm going to say 10-7 for the Jets. And listen, I think, offensive line is improved. I like what they did at receiver, and Allen Lazard was a complete negative last year. Now that Aaron Rodgers is healthy, I think he will get him into the mix. There's a lot of chemistry there. I think the Mike Williams signing was great, especially if he stays healthy. We know he's gotten injured, but he's shown big playability. And then Garrett Wilson, I think year in year, we're going to just see constant improvement. And I would not be surprised if he ends up leading the NFL in receiving yards. I think he's going to be great, as well as Breece Hall. Breece Hall staying healthy is huge for this team. And, I saw you looking up his name there, Hassan Reddick. That's a guy, we still don't have confirmation he's going to be with the Jets. I would think he will be. These players don't like to lose dollars and cents, and we know not playing games results in no game check.
Dude, I forget. Rick was talking about it yesterday. I forget who it was in the Niners. I think a defender maybe. But he was in a similar situation as Hassan Reddick. And, all this money, all the fines getting built up, all the money lost. At one point, the guy went to the Niners and was like, when we negotiate my contract, like, you guys are going to be paying my fees. So the longer you guys wait, the more fees you're going to have to pay.
But the thing is, they won't, because if he'll lose like free agency rights and stuff and not accrue a year. So it doesn't. He
so he has no leverage.
He doesn't. He's going to act like he does, and obviously the leverage would be that the Jets need him. But as we know, the Jets have a very talented defense. So I think even if he were to miss a couple games, I think this defense is going to be really strong. Obviously, San Francisco presents a challenge, but we'll get to that tomorrow. Anyway, so they're in second, 10-7, a wild card team. And then in third place, we're going to go with a very disappointing 8-9 record for the Bills. You mentioned the 4 straight division titles, but I think they lost a lot at receiver. And Josh Allen, while he does make great plays with his arm, with his legs, it just seems like crucial decisions he struggles with, and it doesn't seem like a guy that can be counted on down the stretch of the games or season. So I have them out of the playoffs for the first time in a while, and probably resulting in the termination of head coach Sean McDermott. And then a team that will be in the conversation. I believe they had the 3rd pick this past year. They might be in store for the number 1 pick, depending on, how some of these younger guys play. But the New England Patriots, especially starting Jacoby Brissett with not much around them. I think we said 4 wins last year. We will say 4 wins once again. So a 4-13 mark for the Pats. And I don't know if Riley is going to be watching too many Patriots games this year.
I would not think so, dude.
So that's what we got for the East. What do we have for the North?
Sorry, just remind me what the record was for the Pats.
Pats 4-13.
4-13. Sheesh, kabibbles, dude. All right, so let's go now. AFC. Wait, so we're going to go west North. Here. AFC. Oh, North. Okay, cool. All right, AFC North. Oof. All right, so I got my Bengals. Let's go, dude. They're winning the division, 11-6 here. Burrow, healthy. Obviously, going to be playing a full season. I feel like we haven't had that. Haven't seen prime Joe in quite a while here. And I'm going to go down the list in terms of what I think in terms of regression here. Second place, you're probably going to hate this for me, Pittsburgh Steelers.
No, I don't. I mean, I'm interested to see what they do.
Me too.
I don't know. It doesn't make sense based on what we've seen the last couple of years, but for something tells me that Russell Wilson is kind of out for revenge.
Yeah. No, I totally agree, dude. I think
Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, and Mike Tomlin for sure. Yeah. I mean, whatever the streak is, above 500. Obviously, I think, not always making the playoffs, but still, for the most part of his career, getting his team there. The record there is still solid too. So you got to appreciate that. And like you said, I think Wilson is out for revenge. They're going to be mixing in Fields. I'm sure of it as well. And you're going to have guys like receivers on the Steelers that for the first time have like a competent quarterback to get some offense going,
Yeah, after dealing with Pickett and Mason.
Oh my God, dude. So brutal. So I say they come in second here with a 10-7 record. Baltimore, I'm expecting some regression from them, to be honest. Lamar is someone who's kind of he's a quarterback who has found himself, lost himself, found it again. The interceptions, always mobile, no doubt. But I think what Baltimore not got rid of, but lost their defensive coordinator, right, from last season, I think.
Jeez,
I'm pretty sure.
I think so. I forget.
And then we know Edwards isn't in the cards anymore as well. And then I don't know. I just think
they have Derrick Henry now.
They do have Derrick Henry, but come on,
getting older, taking a lot of beating over the years.
So I don't know. I can see maybe missing some games. That opportunity I feel like has kind of faded away for Henry. So I just think a little bit of a regression here for Baltimore. They go 9-8, coming in third in the North here, and then Browns. Last 8-9. I think some people have them highly touted. Watson, whatever.
Watson's looked like shit for a while.
Yeah, and I think people forget it was Flacco at the end of the year last year that was winning games, dude. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, yes, their defense is going to be good, no doubt, but their offense is not going to be winning them games.
Chubb
for sure.
On the pub list as well. Ford will start the season.
Yeah, he's missing his first, I think, four games,
least,
dude.
yes.
So. you never know. And an injury like the one that he had, I mean, you really never know how they can come back from that. Mentally, whatever. So yeah, dude, Bengals winning that division. AFC North, let's go.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Obviously, I'm not looking to copy you here, Tony, but I actually am gonna go with the Bengals as well.
There
And
we go.
this, the only thing that makes me nervous there is Burrow's injury history,
Yeah.
and we saw him get injured last year. But Joe Burrow, is had the great conversation. Obviously he's been to a Super Bowl already, but he's the guy, whether he's great now or not. But I know he's going to be an all-time great, provided that he stays healthy. So I'm going to say the Bengals get back to it this year. Probably T. Higgins last year playing on the franchise tag.
Oh, yeah.
Chase still looking for a new contract, as well. And they do lose Joe Mixon. I think Moss is going to get the start, and they drafted a rookie running back as well. But I just think the offense is going to be humming. The defense usually does a good job, under Amarillo.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm going to say the Bengals win the North. We're going to go 11-6 for them.
There we go.
Second place here is going to be the Baltimore Ravens, 10-7. And kind of echoing what you said with them. I mean, the defense is always very strong, always one of the first defenses off the boards in fantasy drafts. But the offense, yeah, Henry, I mean, obviously if he's healthy, they're of course have been a running team for a while, and I think they're looking to pass a little more, getting rid of Greg Roman. Nevertheless, I think, the Baltimore Ravens, while, they might, end up with some injuries, Lamar could even miss a couple games. That's what happens when you run around a lot. I think the 10-7 mark instead of like a 12-5, just because I feel like they struggle with consistently throwing the ball down the field. And I still have not seen Lamar 2 minutes, 90 seconds, starting on his own 30. Can he get the team into the end zone? I just struggle to think that he could do that. So that's why I have them as a wild card team. Another wild card team here, I'm going to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I think they will be 10-7. I guess the Ravens have the tiebreaker, so that's why it's technically third, but they will get that wild card spot. I think Russell Wilson, like I said, revenge tour with Tomlin. I'm sure they'll have some packages for Justin Fields as well. And then Warren and Harris out of the backfield. You got Pickens at wide receiver, and then a defense that's always as talented as with the best of them. TJ Watt, of course, leading the way. So I think, they will finish 10-7. And then in last place, the Cleveland Browns. And like you said, I think an 8-9, that sounds about right. Maybe that changes if Watson reverts back to form, as well as Nick Chubb when he comes back from injury. But I have them finishing last. And that's when we decide to go to the South.
Absolutely love it here. I think the South is going to be kind of interesting, I suppose. I mean, a lot of different types of narratives going around the Texans organization. Sophomore year for Stroud. Yes, they improved the team. Adding certain players. I gotta love Tank Dell, of course, but their record is a little bit more difficult. So people are saying, oh, maybe some taper, but I don't know. I still think they win the division. They have so much talent.
D'Amico Ryan's great head coach.
I mean, yeah, dude. I think that they're all, they're all buying into it. Stroud just seems so focused. Like he gets it now.
But that's like kind of what I always talk about. When someone has it, you see it from the start, and we saw it very early on with CJ Stroud.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why I have them winning the division here at 11-6. I have the Jags following them up at 10-7. Trevor Lawrence, I'm a big fan of, to be honest, and I don't know. I just think he's a guy who's kind of like fumbled the season late, fumbled games late as well.
It has been somewhat underwhelming. Yeah. Like, it's not like he's like anywhere near like a bust, but I just think we saw CJ Stroud in him, what CJ Stroud did last year, and he hasn't done that yet.
Exactly.
Will he do it? We'll see.
We will see. I mean, I think he's someone who's due for it. So that's why I have them coming in second here, 10-7. Colts, Richardson, are they going to remain? Is he going to be healthy? How's he going to do? Kind of first full season, right? So I don't know. I guess we'll see. I think there's going to be an adjustment period for them. I can see them, maybe starting off a little slow, picking it up down the stretch of the year, maybe, winning 4 of the last 5 games, something like that, ending with an 8-9 record. And then Titans, I don't know, man. I think they're like an absolute dumpster fire over there, to be honest.
Hopkins is he suspended? PEDs
right, he's suspended again, right?
Or injury. Maybe it's injury. Either way, he's not going to be ready for the start.
Exactly. And then the dude, I forget the quarterback's name.
Levis,
Will Levis left him, whatever model.
The divorce, at
right?
least.
Unbelievable. And then freaking, last year they had Vrabel, right?
Yep.
who is a good coach. I'm kind of surprised. He didn't go to any other team, right?
No, he didn't.
He didn't. I'm kind of surprised why he doesn't have a job. But I don't know much about their current coach right now, but I imagine there'd be some drop off. If not, we're kind of remaining the same. Titans 11-6 record. They'll be in last place for the South.
Brian Callahan, the offensive coordinator from the Bengals from 2019 to 2023, also is the son of former Raider head coach Bill Callahan.
Oh, wow.
So he's been around the game a while.
So you have confidence in him?
No, I think they have one of the worst rosters. What did you say? 4-13?
Oh dang. Titans 6-11.
6-11. Okay. Yeah. So I do agree with you on the Texans there. I think Stroud is just unbelievable. And I think Diggs and Mixon, I mean, those are two big ads to go with Dell and Nico Collins, Dalton Schultz as well. I think the Texans win 12 games here. So 12-5, winning the division. I will give Jacksonville second. I'm going to say 9-8 for them. We know Lawrence is good, but can he take that next step? I just think they've shown to be inconsistent under Doug Peterson so far. Speaking of inconsistent, the Colts, I think it's great, what they have there with Richardson, Jonathan Taylor for a full season. But again, I think they're an inconsistent team. So I have them going 8-9. And then the Tennessee Titans, I'm going to say 3-14. I just don't see it there. And like you said, I mean, I don't know if that was the right move, getting rid of Mike Vrabel.
I don't get it. Was it like ownership? Did not like
ownership, but I just think sometimes these owners, they
want too much power, you think? Or
yeah, and it's like, they don't like people being extra aggressive or have powerful, but it's like it's about results. Results make you money.
Right.
So that's what you should be focused on. And as somebody once said, Tony, go West, young man.
All right. I mean, West obviously taking the division here. We got the Chiefs, dude. 12-5. Really no surprise there. I mean, again, I know last year Chiefs, were they like 11-6, right?
I think 12-5.
You think, really? Were they?
I'm pretty sure.
But still, I feel like there was a narrative, or maybe even a little regression from Mahomes. The winning low-scoring game, 17-14.
One of the best defenses in the league
right,
for the first time in a while.
Great defense. Have them for fantasy. Hyped about
that.
That.
Been one of my fantasy teams.
Let's
Pick the
freaking
Jets
go,
in my last fantasy draft last night. Let's go.
Really?
Draw for that.
Wow, dude. There we go, bud. Getting some juice in the tank here. So Chiefs there winning the West here. And I got Chargers 9-8, dude. Harbaugh instilling the proper culture that Herbert needs. I understand again.
11-6, by the way.
11-6 for the Chiefs last year. Yeah. Chargers were in last place. Would they have 6 wins? Well, they were really bad, I think. Regardless, I think again, Harbaugh instilling that culture. I know because of that record, the Chargers' lack of success. I think Herbert's getting a little bit of bad rap, even though. I mean, at the end of the day, when you do quarterback comparisons, he's always up there in terms of the most talented. So I think that's why I have Chargers 9-8. Again, starting off the year, maybe a little bit slow down the stretch, though. I can see them, winning a ton of games in the last, 4 or 5 weeks, getting to this second spot in the AFC West. Conversely, there in third, Raiders 8-9, Minshew mania. I can see the opposite going on with the Chargers. Minshew coming in, the song, the dancing, the haircut. Probably hot start to the year. It's the Raiders, talk about, the culture there in Las Vegas. But again, probably tapering down the stretch, maybe throwing a few picks of his own as well. And then that leaves last place to go to your Denver Broncos, Matthew Ryan. They have a record of 5-12. 4 of those wins are Zach Wilson starts. What do you got for me, Brian?
At times like this for the Yankees, it's nice to get a good chuckle. Anyway, Chiefs 12-5, book it. I mean, I would pretty much guarantee that they find themselves in the AFC Championship game, and ultimately would not be surprised if they have an opportunity to go for 3 straight Super Bowl titles. We know how great Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid are, something that even you, Tony, wouldn't contest. I think Rashee Rice, what he did down the stretch, really developing as that number 1 receiver.
Oh my God, he's great.
Is big. Hollywood Brown injured, but eventually I think he'll be a good deep threat for Patrick Mahomes with that speed. And then Kelsey, I mean, we know what a nightmare mismatch he is for opposing defenses, linebackers. Obviously getting older, but he has that rapport with Patrick Mahomes. And you talked about the defense, one of the best in the league. So The offense is better this year. And then you still have that defense. It's going to be a very tough task for opposing defenses.
Oh, definitely.
And teams. So yeah, I have them in first, and then I am going to go with the Chargers in second, 9-8. Unfortunately for them, missing the playoffs, but that's a 4-win improvement from the previous year. You lost Austin Eckler, you lost Keenan Allen, you lost Mike Williams. So there's a lot of different parts in there, but you have Justin Herbert, who says he's 100% healed from that foot injury. He's a guy almost like Trevor Lawrence, where there was a lot of expectations, and I think people expected more by now.
Yeah, definitely.
And while this won't be a playoff season, I think he will show people, at least with his production, that he's going to be a future star. And I would not be surprised next season if he finds himself in the AFC Championship game with Jim Harbaugh. I think the Raiders will be at least better than people expect. I mean, Reed Fowler himself, Raiders fan, said a 2-win team. I think they win 7. I think Gardner Minshew makes the Pro Bowl.
Wow.
And I think Devontae Adams, balls out, probably 1,300 yards, 12 touchdowns. Defense, though, the bugaboo there. And then the Broncos, I think last place. Rookie starting quarterback Bo Nix, Zach Wilson, I would say released before kickoff on Sunday.
No way.
And yeah, I just think there's not enough there. So I'm going to say the Denver Broncos are going to go, we'll say 4-13. So a rough start to his Denver tenure. Be interesting to see if ownership there, the Waldron family, if they have patience with Peyton after 2 underwhelming seasons to start his tenure. To the NFC East we go, Tony.
Let's freaking go, dude. All right, let's go. NFC East. We are chugging along here. I got Dallas winning this one, 12-5. I mean, again,
Dak is great.
Dak is great in the regular season, dude. You can't deny that.
Great. You know what I would say? Common ground here. I would say he puts up great numbers in the regular season. Last year, very good statistical season for Dak.
Yes. And I feel like that's most of his years, honestly. His stats are always.
Yeah, I think the 1 year, was it 2 years ago, though? They got that hand injured and he threw a lot of picks.
Yeah.
Other than that, the stats have been great.
The stats have been great. Touchdown production is always there. I think led the league last year with 36 touchdown passes, I believe. And I think had only 8 interceptions. So really got the interceptions down. I would expect something around that from him this year. And again, Dallas defense, is going to be good. Their receiving core is also great. They have tight ends. They have a solid O-line. I don't think they're going really anywhere. They're winning the division 12-5. I have the Eagles here also 12-5. Again, people are talking about some regression there, locker room woes. I think whatever locker room trouble was last year. I forget who it was, but Jalen and whatever other receiver, I forget who it is, but they would do their own plays, kind of.
Are you talking about AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts?
Yeah, was it? Yeah, Brown. It is. Yeah. I feel like, again, like that kind of culture they had of doing what they want, not really listening to their head coach, calling their own plays, running their own routes. I think whatever that is going to be squashed. I don't think they're going to have any anticipation of that, especially because of the way they ended the year last year. It was not on good terms here. They definitely lost that division within the last few games. So I think they come in here 12-5, wild card team.
Big season for Saquon, or injured once again?
I think it's going to be an angry comeback season for Saquon.
Torching the Giants, dude.
They're
not going to be able to handle it.
I don't even like Hurts might not even throw a pass when they play the Giants, dude. Honestly. Speaking of which, Giants are in third here. I may even move them down to last, but I think that they're not as bad as the Commanders. Give me the Giants here, 5-12. Still a very sad record. I think, they have, some youthful talent.
I mean, I like Malik Neighbors, but other than that, I don't know if I like anything else on the team.
It's tough, dude. But I do think Neighbors is going to come out on the scene just bursting. Right away. He's going to be one of their top players. New York. Literally. Yeah. And again, Jones has shown some signs of being good. So, again, I can see maybe having a good game here or there for him, putting up some good numbers.
Cutlets, honestly.
But honestly,
get the agent out there.
There probably will be that nav towards that second half of the season. But that's why I give them 5 wins here. Commanders, the Commies.
Jaden Daniels, rookie quarterback. The guy at Bar A, he said future Hall of Fame quarterback. Did he not? The chips. That was literally the chips, Tony.
4-13. They're last. They're last. The last of the MC East, dude.
Dan Quinn taking over there, jumping over from the division rival Cowboys. Speaking of the Cowboys, Lonnie telling me to stop being a troll. I mean, maybe the Giants, but wait till he says
it must be
what type of season they have. Anyway, yeah, Dallas.
What does he think they're going to have?
He could comment if he wants to let us know. But the Cowboys, I would say, we'll say 11-6, winning the division. I think it's going to be the same old story though, where it's 11-6,
first round exit.
Yep, home playoff game, and then McCarthy gone, and then it's going to be probably a bidding war between those New York Giants and the Dallas Cowboys next offseason for Bill Belichick.
Wow.
So I think that's what's gonna happen there, and I think also too, the Cowboys really blew it offseason, letting Pollard go, not really getting a replacement, bringing Zeke back after they thought he was done 2 years ago. What's changed now? Rico Dowdle, I don't think so. We saw how bad Dalvin Cook was with the Jets. Oh, he had a great offseason. Yeah, I'll see it when I believe it. In second place, I will go with the Eagles. I don't think they make the playoffs. I think it was concerning how that team fell apart down the stretch last year. I'm going to say they are going to go 10-7, miss out on a tiebreaker. And I think, chemistry issues boil over despite the talent on that team. And then unfortunately for him, I think Saquon probably plays half the season and then has some type of ankle injury. Third place, I'm going to go with the Commanders here. I'm going to say the Commanders definitely take a step forward. I'm going to say they go 8-9. I think Jaden Daniels is going to be a star. And I think Dan Quinn will get that defense going. But I just think, there's some growing to be had there.
The chips, the chips.
There are some good pieces, but they got to continue. And I think the defense is good, but I think the offense needs some help. So, it'll be interesting to see what happens. And then the Giants, I think, will battle with the New England Patriots for the first pick in the draft. Daniel Jones, I would say the only quarterback that I would say is better than it is Zach Wilson, that's in the league. I think, injuries and just doesn't stand tall in the pocket, can't make big throws. So I'm going to say the Giants, since they're battling out with the Pats, I'm going to say 4-13. I would say they move to either DeVito or Drew Lock by week 6, and it may even be sooner, but Malik Neighbors, just to give Lonnie a little something, 1,300 yards, 10 touchdowns, and the Pro Bowl. So would you look at that? To the north we go, Tony.
Lonnie's rolling over in his bed right now, dude. That's for sure. All right, let's go to the NFC North. Who do I have here? I like this, actually. This is going to be a fun division, I think. Give me the Lions here, winning it. We know the deal. Campbell, Amon-Ra St. Brown, big fan here. Gibbs, David Montgomery, love that,
Sam
dude.
Laporta, Jameson Williams,
dude. They're a stacked
Hutchinson,
team, the caffeine.
Yes.
All right, they're winning this division, no doubt. 11-6. You got to appreciate that. I think that a lot of people could agree on that. Second here, give me the Packers, 10-7. I know, hot in the Packers last year, youngest team in the NFL. Jordan Love. I absolutely, appreciate his level of play coming into a team like Green Bay to perform like they did last year. The Cowboys, the playoffs, the second half, great job there. I could also see maybe a little regression. That's the sophomore year regression. I think we're not going to see with the Texans. We'll see a little bit here with the Packers, but still, nonetheless, great season, 10-7 record. Love that. Josh Jacobs added. Great ad there. Coming in third. All right, because Aaron Jones is with Minnesota. That's right, dude. Speaking of the Vikings here in third, Sam Darnold. Also coupled with Aaron Jones is Ty Chandler, also a good running back with Darnold at the QB position. I think that gives him a lot of options for the run game. I think could free him up for maybe some long-range passes downfield. I can see Darnold having an okay year, to be honest. But Vikings there going in at 9-8. That would leave the Bears in fourth place. I don't really believe that. Again, Caleb Williams is kind of a tough, crazy, story, I suppose, but I don't really believe in him, dude. I think there's going to be a lot of distractions for him, maybe not too much focus. And I think if he does bad, I think he's going to crumble. I don't know, man. That's just how I feel. But give me 7-10 for the Bears. They're last in the NFC North.
Wow. All right. So for me here, I agree with the Lions. They're definitely going to win the division. I think 12-5. Campbell, I think, is really instilled a lot of confidence in them. Can they return to the to the NFC Championship game? That remains to be seen, Tony. But I think they're loaded. So I think Goff is. I really have been impressed how he's turned his career around.
Oh yeah.
So them 12-5. I have the Packers in second, 10-7. And they are a team. I don't agree with the step back. I think they are loaded. A full season of Christian Watson. He's a dangerous weapon. And Jordan Love has done a good job, with a guy like Luke Musgrave, and then you have Wicks, where he takes guys that you don't really know much about, and then he does something with them. So I think that with Josh Jacobs, I think revenge season after really disappointing after leading the league in the rushing the season before. And then third place here, I actually am going to go with the Chicago Bears, and I see the concerns with Williams, but I do know he's talented. I do know they are loaded. Adunze, DJ Moore, bringing in Keenan Allen, signing DeAndre Swift. Obviously, some concerns about Eberflus. I don't know how great their defense is. So I think they are going to go 7-10. And then your Vikings, 5-12. Darnold, there's a reason why he's bounced around so much. No, it's not the Jets' fault.
Jefferson?
But Jefferson and Addison, probably good for fantasy, but not good for reality. To the South we go.
That's tough, dude. It is the Jets' fault, by the way. I'm pretty sure you have even said that before. Thank you very much. NFC South here. Let's go. Let me get my notes. Okay. Speaking of, quarterbacks that really bounced back, Baker and the Bucks, dude. Let's freaking go. I think he was like basically a top 10 quarterback in terms of, touchdown passes, the interceptions thrown. He did a great job in leading the Bucks to the playoffs. Definitely played his best, put his heart and body there on the line. I would imagine he's doing that again this season. I think there's gonna be a lot of pressure. And again, I'm just giving the rest of the division here. I think they're better than anyone else here. But I say they have a 10-7 record. The Saints here, I guess I do have them coming in second, but Derek Carr, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, as much as I feel for him, coming from the Rays organization, having a tough culture there, the injuries he's kind of faced, I think the window for him is kind of passed a little bit. I say the Saints come in here, maybe like an 8-9 record. I'm gonna say
Derek Carr.
It's sad, dude. It really is.
Dennis Allen as well. Talk about mediocrity.
I mean, and then speaking of mediocrity, Falcons third place here, also 8-9 record. I just don't see them doing much, and the Panthers as well. I know they have some youthful talent there, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like they've been punting on every single season for the past like 3 years now. So I say, give me the Panthers. I don't know, maybe like what would it be, 6-11?
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, new head coach there, so hoping to revitalize Bryce Young. For me here, I'm actually going to go with the Falcons winning the division.
Wow, dude, there we go.
I think Captain Kirk, he's definitely going to be fired up after the drafting of Penix, after he signs that big deal. And I think this team is loaded. Drake London, Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier. There's Kyle Pitts as well. There's a lot of weapons there in Atlanta. Raheem Morris, the first-year head coach for them. Obviously coached with the Bucks back in the day. But I think he'll get that defense turned around. I think the offense will be firing. And I think they go 10-7. Second place, the Bucks. I'm going to say a little bit of a step back from last year. I'm going to say going 8-9. I think the offense, will be pretty solid, but I don't know if we can count on Baker maybe producing to the level they did last year, but we know about Evans and Godwin. Rashad White produced a lot last year, but will he follow it up? So, and Todd Bowles as well. I think that's talking about mediocre head coaches. And then I'm actually going to say third place, the Carolina Panthers, because their head coach was the offensive coordinator for the Bucks last season, did a great job with Baker. I think he does a great job with Bryce Young, who looked like one of the biggest busts we've seen since Zach Wilson. And I think he's going to turn it around there. And you're going to have Chuba Hubbard starting the year at running back. He did well when given the ball last year. So I think the Panthers will go 7-10, which will surprise a lot of people.
Yeah.
And then I think bottom falls out for the Saints. Kamara getting older. I mean, I like Olave, I like Shaheed, but I don't like Derek Carr. So I think the Saints actually win 6 games. Dennis Allen probably fired midway through the season, so I'm sure he's high up there on coaches with odds to be fired. But we will see. And believe it or not, Tony, to our last division here, the NFC West.
NFC West. What was your record for the Saints?
The Saints are going to go, I think I said 5 wins.
5. Okay. Cool.
5-13. All right, no, 5-12. Sorry.
Yep. Bye week. All right, let's go NFC West, ladies and gentlemen. Not a lot of sleep last night, Brian?
No, you know what? Actually, that was like me doing my stretching.
Yeah,
And then, of course,
typical,
like just doing one of those things like underlying, conscious thoughts, work stuff just went through my head after, which is crazy that I could do both at the same time. But sometimes it happens. Of course, got a text again, the big text during the show only. Leave me alone the rest of the time. Great. But continue on.
All right, dude. So let's go NFC West. You said it here. I mean, I think it's going to be pretty obvious in terms of who's the winner here. I got the 49ers. I mean, we know about their talent. Kittle, Purdy, Debo, the defense, Shanahan, the offensive minds they have. I actually have them having the best record, too, in the league at 13-4. I think it could be, it could be one of their years, dude. And then next up in second place here, the Rams, obviously Stafford, Nakua. Again, you talk about the coaching talent there as well. They're always going to remain competitive down the stretch of the season as well. A gritty team that knows what it takes to get done. They're in second, 10-7 there. Seahawks. I really don't know, honestly, like how to think about the Seahawks right now. I would imagine maybe some regression. If not, they stay the same course as last year. I believe they were 8-9 last year. I have them in 8-9 again.
No Pete Carroll.
No Pete Carroll.
It Mike McDonald?
It is McDonald, right?
Was he offensive or defensive? No, defensive coordinator for the Ravens. That's why they lost their coordinator. Continue.
Awesome.
Gino.
We got that. Gino. Good.
Smith and
records.
Jigba, Tyler Lockett,
DK Metcalf. Always going to be good, dude.
Charbonnet.
Got to appreciate that. So that's why they're at 8-9 here. Again, the coach, I mean, you never know. And then I have Cards, just absolute dumpster fire. Same deal as last year as well. I mean, they're going to be 5-14. I think that they're just a terrible organization, dude. Get out of my face. Get out of my face,
Murray,
dude.
the Fortnite.
Tired. The Call of Duty. Doesn't watch tape. No focus.
I am going to get my curveball grip ready here.
Stop it.
I'm going to go with the Rams to win this division, 12-5. And after a tough year defending their Super Bowl title 2 years ago, Stafford gets injured. Worst season of McVay's career. They rebound, make the playoffs, really get unlucky down the stretch against the Lions in that playoff game. And Stafford looked as good as ever. We know Nakua, while it's going to be tough to match whatever it was, 1,500 yards as a rookie in the 5th round. Crazy. I just think,
team, baby, let's go.
I just think they're going to be firing on all cylinders. And a little sleeper here, a rookie running back from Michigan, Blake Corum. We've seen Kyron Williams get injured before. He was great last year, but I think the two of them in the mix, and then, Cooper Kupp, Higbee, I think the Rams on offense, Stafford, I think is going to have a really good year despite getting up there in age. So I think they win the division with 12 wins. Niners, playoff team. I think they're going to win, 11 games. So I think they'll have a good year. You just never know. Does Purdy maybe take a step back? He's been so good up to this point after being the last pick in the draft. It's hard to think that he could continue at such a high level. Maybe he does. Obviously, they're loaded. It's good that they got the contract situation figured out with Trent Williams and Brandon Ayuk. But you just want McCaffrey to stay healthy. We know he's had a problem doing that in the past, Tony. And then, so in third place here, I am going to go with Seattle. I'm going to say 7-10. I think the defense, even though they do have a defensive head coach, I don't know if it's as good, nowhere near the Legion of Boom days. And then Gino, I think is okay. Obviously he's got weapons, so that helps. But they're, I think, a mediocre team this year. You mentioned the Cardinals. I'll give them 6 wins. I mean, I'm very excited about Marvin Harrison Jr. I think he's going to be a stud. Kyler Murray, though, does he stay healthy? Is he consistent? Who knows? So I have them, finishing last there. And just like that, I cannot believe it, Tony. That is the divisional previews.
That was a very efficient divisional preview.
Almost like my 2.5 hour round at Gator Brennan.
Which is absolutely ridiculous, by the way. I really can't believe that, dude.
Do you think you would almost not like playing that quick, honestly?
I feel like if you would have me like going to hole 10 and then go to 11 and then go back to 9.
Oh,
and
no,
like
no,
that
9.
Sort of thing,
but
dude.
if it was just 2.5 in order.
I mean, I guess that would mean I'd be doing well, right? So like, how can I be complaining?
Yeah. And it's crazy too, playing like that. The other round was like 340, so a little longer, but shot to shot, not really like moseying around. Didn't lose a ball the last 2 days.
Addressing the ball.
You know what I mean? We talk about addressing the ball, practice swings. Neither didn't lose a ball.
That's great, Jim. I feel like half my time is spent looking for a ball, dude. So
that makes the difference. Right?
What do you know what the fastest round is like for PGA? Like it recorded? Like, do you know?
No, but it's not even gonna be close because there's too many golfers on the course. That's why if they're playing themselves, different story. I know myself. I think it's like hour 53 I had by myself, no one on the course, go. And sometimes it's a little bit of a sprint, but obviously you don't lose your ball. That helps.
Right.
But I don't know. I just feel like, is it not, unless like, okay, you're like, on the course today, I really want to have 15 beers. Is it not you hit your shot, especially if you're playing well, Tony, that you're excited to go to the next shot and like, there doesn't need to be a lapse. Like you're ready to go shot to side. Not that you need to sprint out of the cart,
right?
But you're not like just kind of taking your time at the same time.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's tough. I guess I really don't keep track of time while I'm golfing. Yeah. Do you like look at your phone? Like if you're like, you trying to like beat your record of like how quick?
But it shows you in the cart as the round's going on.
Right.
So I just see that and more. The reason why it happens this time of year is because of the sun setting earlier and earlier. So just about getting 18 in.
Right.
I just have this thing. I'm not a 9-hole player. I don't like playing 9 holes. I want to play 18 holes.
I get that. But you are like, you're aware of your time.
Just because
elapsed.
It's there.
Yeah.
Gainer and Sterling, they have that right in the cart. So
are we like when you do you like walking the course though, are you like speed walking? Like are you like searching for that? Or you just like this is really that's just your pace. That's really your pace.
I don't need to line putt. Like you know what I mean? I guess a putt would be the most time I take, and I don't even take that long for that. But I'm gonna look at it for a second. But the ball lining up, go, swinging, go, look at it, go. What's the distance? Go. And you know what it is too? I think what makes it easy is I've played Gainer. I mean, I had to have played Gainer over 100 times, probably more than that. I just know distances, I know holes, I know what clubs I need to use. So there's not really like, what are we doing? Like, there's nothing to think about. It's just go.
Is there ever a time where maybe you shank a shot and you're like, wow, if I maybe took my time a little bit more, I would have.
I swear to God, I play better. Maybe it's you know what's hilarious too. So yesterday, I'm sure you can picture this: playing with this random guy, and it's like the front nine must have taken an hour. So obviously that's so quick, of course. And the people ahead of us that we were waiting a little bit, I'm like, yeah, geez, I really want to get an 18. These people ahead of us are going so slow. And he's like, well, I mean, we play really fast. And he stops for a second and he goes, and you play really fast. Which I was like, what do you want me to say? Right. But that's it's funny how that came up. So really the last order of business here, football wise, game tonight, Tony. I'm sure you could hear in your head Chris Collinsworth saying that pass was picked off.
That pass was wow. He really is a master of his craft.
And then Tirico, the legend that he is, but NBC, Peacock will have this available as well. Rematch of the AFC Championship game, obviously coming from Kansas City as they go for 3 titles in a row. Chiefs -3, 47.5 the total. What are your thoughts about this matchup tonight?
I think it's going to be a great game, obviously, to start the season off. I think it maybe is a little unfortunate that the Ravens, I think, play the Chiefs here. But in terms of, just looking at the spread, I mean, I think it will be close. Kansas City -3. I don't think there's anything to object there. 47.5. I think that seems a little high, to be honest, dude.
I agree. Early in the season,
right? Good defenses here.
Good defenses as well. So I do agree with that. And then it does come to my mind. Last year, we had the Lions 21-20 in Kansas City.
Right.
I'm just in the back of my head. It's weird because it's like I don't really believe in the Ravens, especially winning big games. But for some reason,
really,
it just feels like I don't know. Opening night, but I'm probably going to go with the Chiefs, I guess, but that just does fall in the back of my mind that the Lions did win last year.
Interesting. All right. I mean, because in this game, I mean, I would take Chiefs, honestly, all the way. I know I'm making it sound like it's going to be a landslide, but I think I mean, I guess they went by a touchdown, right? So yeah, I'll give them that. I would say maybe like, fourth quarter, like, a few minutes to go there, 3 minutes maybe. Typical, classic Mahomes rushing down the field, Mahomes, Kelsey, touchdown, red
Kelsey, anytime
zone.
touchdown tonight, or
Literally anytime touchdown, dude.
yeah,
So, I mean, that I would say maybe Kansas City wins this game. I don't know, maybe 21-14,
21-14.
and I think
okay.
at that point, maybe 3 minutes are left. Ravens get the ball, maybe march down, but Chiefs stop, maybe even Lamar interception. But I would still think just Chiefs defense stop them. And then there's your win right there, dude.
Wow. Okay, so I'm gonna say we're gonna get Kansas City winning this game. I'm gonna say 21-17.
Okay.
So a 4-point win, covering the spread. I think tight, maybe tied at the half. But I'm gonna say just because the Chiefs had their number last year. I could see them getting the job done again. And I think Mahomes, obviously, I mean, how much you have to prove winning 3 Super Bowls before you're 30. But I think, I'm sure he was a little frustrated with the way the offense went last year. So I think he's going to be extra motivated this year. So the Chiefs, in an exciting game, pull it out. And I am so ready for the frenzy tomorrow.
Hell yeah, dude.
That's going to be great.
Travis Kelce turning 35 next month.
Oh yeah,
by the way.
yeah. I mean, I think this might be his last year. We'll see. But yeah, excited for that. 8:20 on NBC and Peacock. But unfortunately, Tony, we do have no other choice but to go to the world of Major League Baseball.
What a play! Stop it, Yep. And Alonso cracks one of the men win the ball game. Out of sight.
And it works at 100 miles an hour. 14 strikeout.
Too deep to left field. There it goes. See ya.
All right. So I know you've been waiting for a day like this, Tony, but believe it or not, I really do not have that much to say about the Yankees, other than last night was embarrassing. Series was embarrassing. Really, the offensive performance was embarrassing. I know you look at it 6 runs, but Trent Grisham comes in as a replacement, hits a grand slam with 2 outs in the 9th. I mean, I'm not going to put too much stock into that. Nice to see Soto hit his 38th. Great. Him and Judge have been struggling. Judge still struggling. Stanton was so hot all of a sudden. I think it's 6 strikeouts the last 2 games. Stroman was batting practice. The bullpen, once again, was batting practice. It's the worst bullpen that I've seen the Yankees throw out there. Oh, nice to see Efros do solid. Other than that, I mean, pretty much everyone sucked ass. Phil Bickford, get the fuck out of my face. That's ridiculous that he's on the team. I don't care about the scoreless inning. And, you've put yourself in a situation here where you have a tough opponent in the Cubs. They've been hot. Heels making his first start back, and it's an afternoon game tomorrow, 2:20 at Wrigley. This is not going to be an easy series. So if you think you can mosey around and put in these relievers in crucial spots with runners on and find a way to get out of it, it's not going to happen.
It's not going to
happen. You have to be playing your best baseball. The Yankees were fortunate the Orioles lost to the White Sox yesterday.
I can't believe it.
So they remain a half game back right there, despite how embarrassing this is. And Lonnie had some comment about this might not be the year for the championship, which it's just like, I think there's still baseball to be played. Obviously, this stuff isn't good. We get it. And like I've mentioned, you're not going to play these bad teams in the playoffs. But for me, it's not even about what you're doing against what team. For me, it's this bullpen needs to be figured out. Marinaccio giving up 2 runs again last night. Leiter giving up that double with the bases loaded. I mean, who the hell can you count on? Like I said, I liked what Efros did, but that was one guy.
And it's Stroman's start could not have come at a worse time, too. Like, you needed someone to give you some length, to ease up on the bullpen a little bit, and instead it gives you absolute dog shit.
Yeah, exactly. So now it's like, well, what does Nestor do next time? I mean, this is going to be a battle to see who's in the playoff rotation. But the Yankees need to do better. Us fans deserve better. And they better be on their A game this weekend in Chicago. realistic here. Let's just take a series. I think we've lost 3 series in a row. That's just bad to all bad teams. Now we have a team who's playing well. What are we going to do? But heel Wicks tomorrow. Yankees off today. But that's all I got. And I'm just trying not to lose my mind over this. Obviously, nice football, nice distraction. But that's it. So hopefully we see a turnaround here. Now is the time. It's right now. You need to figure it out. Who's the closer? Who can you rely on the bullpen? And that's what we're doing from there. And that's it. Onward, upward. The Mets. 7 in a row. I know you're excited, Tony. Another sweep. 2 straight sweeps. Red Sox in shambles, which, I mean, I guess if I'm going to take a positive out of the situation, that. We saw the great Tanner Houck be defeated once again. And we saw Tyler McGill labor, but it was enough due to the outstanding performance of the Met bullpen.
Crazy.
101 miles an hour. Edwin Diaz. What else is there really to say? The Mets. Right.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it was a pretty crazy game. Actually, we had Gaming Corner last night, so I was kind of looking at it. Caught the last 3 innings, 7th, 8th, and 9th inning, which was great. Because this game, dude, was kind of close. And I was in here watching it, towards the end. We were kind of breaking down whatever. Absolutely hilarious to watch what was going on. But crazy game. Jesse Winker, someone who's been absolutely on fire, gets the opportunity to hit a grand slam last night.
For my fantasy team in the playoffs, need that. Let's go.
Wow.
The only thing about this Mets game I was excited about.
Let's freaking go. So bottom of the first there, Winker with that absolute dinker, dude, to center field.
That's a little much there.
Oh, come on. What?
Not that was Sal Licata telling a joke, honestly. Come on. Hey, you're better than that, Tony. You tell some good jokes sometimes. That wasn't one of them.
First of all, sometimes let's take it easy. And second of all, that was kind of good. Like there's dinger, dinker, winker. Come on.
But a dinker
man.
sounds like something you hit off the end of the bat that just falls into the outfield. You know what I mean? It doesn't sound like a grand slam. Dinger, you know what I mean? But that dinker. Dink is small. It's lesser. It's as you would say, not great.
All right, so that put him up 4-0. You mentioned McGill, which honestly was probably, I mean, again, obviously hit a grand slam first, and that's great. But listen, I've been saying like a freaking broken record. The games where the Mets score first, they end up winning. And this one did get close. Top of the third there, you mentioned McGill laboring through it. He didn't give you much. He gave you enough, just enough. Duran's got a double, of course, a bunch of guys on base there. Valdez ends up scoring. Devers, sack fly RBI. Abreu, sack fly RBI. Again, it's not that, McGill was giving up home runs. He was giving up a ton of hits, 5 hits being that through 4 innings. Labored your way. Mendoza, by the way, even though McGill with the 67 pitch count, gets through 4 innings, Mendoza's like, hey, man, it's a close game right now. You don't got it. I'm going to go to my bullpen because I got confidence in that guess. Goes to like the not so common guys either, brings in Young, Brazoban, Danny Young, Matone, and then obviously that's caught the game. But probably what was very interesting and had me on the edge of the seat because going into the 8th inning, it was a 4-3 game, Brian. So really anyone's game. In comes for the 8th inning, Kenley Jansen, dude. And honestly, Brian, I don't know like what was going on with him, but he could not find the strike zone.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he sucked for a while. I know he had some like bounce back performances.
He did, dude. He used to have like a ton of saves. I feel like last year he had a ton of saves.
Yeah,
right?
That was a bounce back year, but a couple mediocre years before that.
But dude, literally, I mean, we're talking about like pitches that were, I don't know, maybe 8 inches above the strike zone. Just could not find it. Has 3 walks in there. Comes in for the inning. I think gives up 1 hit. And then 3 walks, walking in the bases loaded, and then walking a runner, making it 4-3.
What's his ERA at now?
3.70.
But high for a closer.
But then kind of tough here. Rich Hill comes in, which again, I don't know what Corey was thinking.
44 years young.
44 years young, dude.
Just put on the active roster this week.
And like, yeah, just this week. And he's not a bullpen guy. So for some reason, like he was a starter. He is a starter. And you bring in this guy with the bases loaded, 1 out.
And he walks in too.
Dude, he walks in too. He curveballs that again are so out. Like not, dude, literally you can see it off of the release of his hand. This ball is not hitting the strike zone. Walks in 2 more batters just like that. I mean, after all those walks and a sac fly RBI by Bader, it ends up being 8-3. And also Bader kind of pissed me off. Typical. I mean, I don't want to say Yankee mentality, but literally, Brian, like Like every batter in the lineup knows the fucking drill. They come up, they stand there. They're watching Jensen and Rich Hill throw balls at the strike zone. Here comes Bader swinging at everything, dude, which is such an idiot. But they get the sack for RBI. They get out of the inning, but just like that, 8-3, Diaz comes in, which what would have been a safe situation, obviously is not anymore. He comes in, leadoff walk, probably because he was sitting around for a half hour in the top half of that inning. But does get 2 strikeouts after, I think, of ground out to short. And like I said, hammering the fastball, 101 on the gun, back to back. Gets 2 strikeouts. And I mean, he's looking tip top right now. Your bullpen's looking solid. You scored 8 runs. You showed a lot of plate discipline in that 8th inning. And obviously, you started off the game with a grand slam. You got to be happy about that. The back to back sweeps. Brian said no ground gained.
Nothing lost.
But yeah, I mean, still, again, you're winning these games. That's what you're happy about. You're a half game within the Braves right now. And I mean, they were playing the Rockies. So give me a break here.
But they are playing today. So if they do win, they would be a full game up.
Correct, dude. But, obviously you hope for the loss. We're going to move forward accordingly. As I mentioned.
In St. Louis?
I don't think so.
Another home series.
I think it's another home series.
Wow.
Could be wrong.
Seems like they've been home a lot recently.
Well, they had that crazy 15-day stretch of being away.
Okay.
Let's see what we got going on here. It is. Oh, I'm sorry. It's at home against Cincinnati. Dude.
Okay, which is
Reds.
Somewhat of a tricky spot. Got to be ready for LA De La Cruz.
Of course,
to run around the bases ragged. Right?
You would imagine so, but again, Manaea, Quintana pitched well his last time out. Sevy as well.
The Sunday afternoon game, the Shadows. No, in all seriousness, I can't believe how well he's pitched, even though it's not. In all seriousness, because I know we had this conversation yesterday, it is not a great season.
It's not,
but
great
it is
season.
A fairly good one. I would say that, and it is a great improvement from the dumpster fire that was last season. I thought this guy had no shot at all. I thought he should be in the bullpen, and here he is. I mean, how many starts has he made? With 25?
Let's see, 27.
27,
dude. I know. Staying healthy. And in an ERA, I'm expecting his ERA to be close to a 5 at the end of the year,
Is that I thought it said 4th in whip. I was like, that's
47.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. No top 10 stats here.
And it's interesting. The velocity is still good, strikeouts down. So it just seems like he's done a good job of managing himself. Yeah. And I mean, really, I guess Wright has been the second best starter on the team this year.
Yeah, really. I mean, I think at this point with Manaea kind of tough. Yeah, Peter hasn't pitched a lot, but those 3 have been great, especially as of recently. And again, to your point, I think Sevy, his first couple starts this year were bad because he kept throwing the fastballs, the adrenaline, and just wasn't even didn't care about location, just hammering the fastball. He starts mixing the lower speed, the off-speed pitches, and going to that fastball. Still able to locate it when he can now, and I think that's why he's been doing so well. His pitch management has been great.
One thing I want to get to before we do the frenzy for today, Yanni saying Barnes will believe until the last nut on the rim falls off, and he's driving down the road on pure car axle. Good for him. And then he also adds, if you have Docker pants on, which you don't.
I do not. I have slacks on. I know everyone's asking if I saw Kev Dews. Teaching today. No, we have a art exhibit today that we're a part of. So I wanted to dress nice. It's a Thursday, and it's again, it's not like I never dress like this. I wear a button down sometimes. I don't know why everyone's freaking out about it.
Yeah, a little much. A little much. Also, though, Josh does say Matty G, and then Michael Jets Super Bowl champs parade here. DTV comes. Also, Matt mentioning last year, Monday night, the walk-off win after the Rodgers injury. Seems like that was many moons ago. But I just wanted to get to the Yanni comment quickly. Listen, like I said, I mean, this is pathetic recently. Makes you want to rip your hair out. No denying that. I think that the whole hope here is you're still going to get a couple guys back in the bullpen. So you hope you could sort that out, and the guys like Combs and Leiter, who have been killing us, they're going to be moved very well down in the pecking order. And it's right now, you have to figure it out. You are going to be part of the playoffs. You hope that more bullpen guys coming back like Ian Hamilton and Dominguez eventually joining this team once the at-bat question is out of reach. That'll provide some spark. And I mean, Judge has been hitting as bad as he has all season, pretty much the last week and a half. So, that's going to turn around. So you just hope that, like, it's been a while, but you hope you win 7 out of 10, 10 out of 13. That's what you need. If you get that, you just got to take it from there. It's not going to be easy. And I'm not confident, but it is, it is still there for the taking. So, hopefully we get the job done, but we'll see. No game today, little reset, Wrigley, Windy City, great ballpark, all of that. Maybe that gets them hyped. By the way, career high 38 home runs for Soto. I don't know if I mentioned that before. And also checking off the list of ballparks that he's homered in, hadn't homered at Globe Life Park.
Love that,
till
dude.
last night. So getting it done the last game that they played there.
And speaking of career highs, by the way, Lindor, 15-game hit streak, best of his career. Also, 33 games in a row he's reached on base, also best in his career.
And it's funny because Lonnie thinks he's ruffling my feathers, saying it's still there for the taking. Okay, Boone. Just saying. I mean, you're a half game within the division. So we're going to lay down now, Lonnie? I mean, it's just like, what do you want us to do?
I will say, I don't know about you, or I know you haven't been listening to DNR a lot. But I don't know. No, not even about them though. But Yankee fans are calling in, and I mean, it seems like a lot of guys, a lot of Yankee fans are not saying you guys aren't making the playoffs, not saying you guys don't win the division, but like a lot of people are saying that at this point they can't see the Yankees winning the World Series. So it seems like, again, for me, there was at least 3 callers kind of throwing in the towel on the season at that point today for the DNR show. I mean, what do you think about that? Like, do you think it's just if the Yankees win the division, get past that wild card series where they don't have to deal with that, you think they have a chance to get to the series and win it, the World Series?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, of course, like, would you put a lot of money on it right now? No. But I just think anytime you have Garrett Cole, Aaron Judge, Juan Soto, and Giancarlo Stanton on your team, and I know last couple of games he doesn't look good, but he's been a playoff performer. That gives you a shot. But like I said, there's a lot of stuff you got to figure out. You have to figure out right now. There is no time. So hopefully they do. You say, learn to take a joke, dude. Well, I mean, you said it a couple of times, Lonnie. So you say something enough, becomes not a joke, right, Tony?
That's right, dude.
But I'm honestly just joking with him. But at the same time, I'm going to respond to what he says. I mean, what do you want me to do?
Take a joke.
But what's going to happen on the diamond today? Let's find out in the abbreviated full-on baseball frenzy.
Let us freaking go. That's right. NFL season started, but these MLB frenzies are not losing any juice, baby. You know the deal. A good amount of games today on this beautiful Thursday. Yankees, Mets off. So kind of pick of the litter for the both of us. What are we going to do? I'm going to cross my fingers and hope to die here. Give me the Rockies for the 3rd straight day in a row, 7:20 p.m. at Truist Park in Atlanta. They're playing the Braves. Ronaldo Lopez on the mound for the Braves against an Austin Gomber who sucks for the Rockies. But I'm going to bet with my heart right now. I'm a lowly Mets fan. Atlanta minus 275 on the money line, over under 8.5. Give me the over and give me plus money on the Rockies, plus 225. Austin Gomber, perhaps the best start of his career here, going 7 innings, 2 earned run baseball, maybe about, 7 strikeouts, 5 hits, 3, maybe 2 walks. Why not? And I think he's going to absolutely stunt the Braves lineup. And I think give me Brendan Rodgers, I say a solo shot in the 2nd, a bases clearing double in the 7th. Rockies go on to win, I'll say 6-3. Rockies and your over, Brian.
All right. I am going to go with the Nationals in Pittsburgh here.
There we go.
Irvin, opposed by Bailey Falter. Not exactly 2 Cy Young Award winners. But the Pirates, I don't know. I just feel like they've shown us down the stretch here. You can't count on them despite having some talent on that team. Nationals have been struggling, but at times have looked great this season. And we talked about Jay, all the money he's won on the Nationals this year. So maybe he does it again today. Pittsburgh minus 120 at home. I think Irvin, 6 strong, 1 earned run. You're going to see the Nats take out the Pirates here, 4-2. Nats in the under.
Absolutely love that here. Let's go second game here for me. Reds at home against the Astros. We know they'll be visiting the Mets soon. And they've won the first 2 games of this 3-game set against the Astros. Looking for the sweep today. He's putting up a 12 spot yesterday on the Stros, outscoring them so far in this series 17-8. On the mound for them today is Rhett Lauder. Looks like a young buck, 0-1 so far, 2.25 ERA through just 4 innings pitched. But nonetheless, I think could navigate this lineup here of the Astros, who are seemingly struggling to score. But perhaps what is even more of a storyline here is the Reds' ability to put some runs up here. And I understand Hunter Brown, solid, very solid pitcher here. You know what? Ty France has seen him a few times here. And I like Ty France a little bit. I know some people don't. But give me France here with a 3-run blast in the 5th, putting the Reds up kind of midway through this game. And I say maybe tagging on a few runs. Each of these teams with the bullpen. Reds and the over for sure, which is a 9.5. Reds also plus 135. So it's the day of the underdog here. Reds win this game. I'm going to say 7-5. That's game 2 for me, Brian. What do you got?
All right. I'm going to go with your Padres here at home. Have taken the first 2 from the Tigers, going for the sweep today. Tigers, obviously, losing those last 2 games. The Padres have won 4 out of 5. Martin Perez, the grizzled vet, opposed by Casey Mize. I don't know how that guy was ever a first-round pick. Kind of crazy. Throws, 89?
Mm-hmm.
So I think the Padres will win this game. Tatis back, by the way, was kind of under the radar.
Yes. Not great, though.
Not great yet.
Couple 0-4s.
But I think a grand slam today, a Machado solo shot, a shutout victory, and a sweep for your Padres, 5-0. Padres under.
There we go. Third game, last game here for me. Been betting with my heart a lot. Let's bet now with some numbers here. Phillies in Miami. This is, I think, game 1 of their last series here. It's a 4-game set. Obviously, Phillies have been on fire right now, winning 4 of the last 5. On the 4-game winning streak here, Jake Berger leading the offense for the Marlins in almost every category. Ranger Suarez, though, certainly to extinguish the flames of Jake Berger and the boys over here. Adam Oller, young buck there for the Marlins. Not a ton of innings pitched there for him. I say they get popped. Kyle Schwarber, 33rd home run. Trey Turner, maybe a 2 for 4 night, bumping up his average to above 300 yet again. So give me Phillies, absolute spanking of the Marlins, over 8.5. Phillies do that on their own. Phillies put up a 10 spot. They win this game 10-3. Phillies in the over.
All right. So the last game of the day. I have to say, I feel like I am pretty good at multitasking. Anyway, give me Brian Wu and your Mariners here.
Okay.
At the Coliseum. Mariners hanging around, actually, I've lost 4 out of 5, but did defeat the A's 16-3 yesterday. I'm going to say Wu here, 7 scoreless innings. And we are going to see also Randy Arozarena, 3 home runs in this one. Mariners 7-0. Mariners in the under. Just like that. That is your baseball frenzy. And then Lonnie with some nonsense here about the Mets going further than the Yankees in the playoffs. Let me stop before you blow your top. No one's blowing a top, but let's wait till the playoff starts before we make these ridiculous statements. And I know, yes, it was a joke. Still, I think there's a lot of statements out there. And I don't know what. Oh, Kev, I guess he's talking about when I'm at work, I wear a uniform, but when I think he meant at home, whatever, he wears this, he wears that. We get it, right? Or no?
Yeah, no, totally.
Totally. Yep.
Do you see Cubs yesterday?
No
hitter. Combined no hitter.
Yes,
Imanaga had it.
Combined, yes, I know. That's why I said Cubs have been hot.
Cubs have been really hot. Imanaga has been having a great year too. I think he had no hitter going through 7. They pull him 8th and 9th.
Here we go.
There we go, dude. But good for them, dude.
Good for them. Yep. So hopefully we kick their ass this weekend. Honestly, we really need a sweep. When's the last time we had a sweep? I don't even know. Does it matter? Just do it. Just do it now. Obviously, you could regroup today, but please, dear God, do it right now, Tony. But honestly, my last question for you is: you ready for some football?
I'm ready for some football. Let's fucking go, dude. I'm actually really hyped for this season. And I really can't explain. Probably the most excited that I've been in my entire life.
The fantasy.
Brian. Yes, fantasy, huge. Like I said, Chiefs defense. Let's fucking go, dude.
Yeah. And then, by the way, Kev Dew says, I'm coming in super hot with fantasy baseball. You don't want to see my teams in the playoffs. I don't know. I mean, that might be a little bit of a stretch. I know he's improved recently, but it's been a tough season for Kev Dew. So we'll see if he can do something in the playoffs. All it takes is getting there.
That's right.
So let's see what happens. But nevertheless,
And abbreviated.
yeah, here we are. Another great show today. And really appreciate everybody who tuned in and continues to comment, like, and subscribe. All of the archives on the YouTube page starting like Renee and Jay in costume, the merch at downtimetv.com. Kev, you getting a little tight.
Yeah.
As Lonnie said, take a joke, bro.
Yep.
But we want everybody to enjoy the day, enjoy the football, and we will see you mañana.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.